Welcome to the Prospectors Radio Show, the talk show for our community. Please welcome Rich Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter, Dennis native,
Scott Swiftwater, Tony, Rob White Gold, Jerry Wheeler, and your host, Tim Grimes. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and thanks for tuning in. Oh, wait, my camera's off. What's happening, fellas?
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
What is going on out there in fabulous Prospector Radio land?
Well, enjoying the get up in the morning and have to run your heater, and by the afternoon, evening, you have to run your AC.
Right?
Well, we ain't got that problem. We're still chilly.
Scott said he's freezing, so it's probably 75.
Oh, where's the violin at?
Right? So it's probably 75.
My heart bleeds for you.
But, yeah, but come on, guys. What's his freezing? 75, 76?
Yeah, 72.
I don't know. It was cold around, what was it, 60-something degrees?
Even 60s, come on.
Still t-shirt weather.
Hey, it's not this. It's a different kind of cold.
Oh, it's a different 60 degrees. It's not the same 60 degrees.
Oh, that's right. Temperature's different over there than it is here. Yeah.
Got 60 is colder than our 60?
Yeah. Must be.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. My apologies, Scott. I did not know.
He learned that from Lebanon.
Dry cold, man. It sucks.
That's right.
Yeah, it goes through your bones.
It's 60 degrees. You're just spoiled. You're just used to 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So you get 60s and you put on long sleeve shirts, red shirts, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's back to 100, you'll be back in your white t-shirt.
Right.
That reminded me when I went to that Golden Treasure show, and it was me and Jim Ham. We went there when we had an interview with Jeff Williams and some of the other ones. We were standing outside waiting in line, and it was probably, I don't know, 66, 68 degrees, and people were in line with their winter coats on.
Yeah.
I was in a t-shirt. It was beautiful weather. And I thought, what in the world are they doing? They were all freezing.
You said 60s. In that area, they freeze.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was there when it was that, and that temperature didn't feel any different than
our 60s, right?
60 degrees.
Right.
It was still t-shirt weather.
Even upper 50s feels good with the sun. Yeah, it's fine.
The tree stand, it ain't.
Oh well, because you're just sitting there. You're not moving around.
Nah, freaking wind blowing at 20, 25 miles.
Oh, and then what? Yeah, if you have wind and some shade.
I have my heater on.
Yeah, wind and shade that can.
It's 64 degrees the other morning, but the freaking wind was blowing 20 miles an hour. I had my heater on.
I bet you did. Yeah, I got my heater on right
And
now.
I was looking for widow makers.
Oh.
Like I said, this morning it was 46 degrees.
Okay.
That's not in Arizona. That is cold.
Really?
In the mornings, that makes sense, you know. It's morning time. Late night, you're in the desert too. It gets cold at night, right? So, yeah, it makes sense. But you're still in Arizona, where it's warm. Warm, warm, warm.
Oh,
It's
you
better-
should get to 100 by Wednesday.
Yeah,
Then
it's just
cooling
doing
off
this
again.
for some reason. It's cool because if you look at the Doppler radar between Nevada here and a couple of states, it almost looks like a freaking hurricane the way that everything's doing a circle because we're in a low right now.
Right?
But yeah, it's like I said, it chucked up some rain and some cold ass weather. I know that.
Interesting. And Rob, what's it down there in sunny California?
Oh, it was 72 today.
Yeah, that's a nice day.
We're supposed to have a heat wave by what? Next 2 days, we're going to get 85, 90.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
that's
supposed
it.
to go on the weekend.
California should always be 80.
Although we did get some rain the other day.
Yeah.
A quick 20-minute downpour, and that was it.
And that's all.
Then he sent it my way, and it wasn't 20 minutes.
Me, Dennis, and Rich, we pretty much all have the same temperature. And then you got Jaron up there in Utah. It's probably snowing right now.
Yeah.
Jaron, what's the weather in Utah there?
It's 62, but we're supposed to get up to mid 70s this week.
Oh, okay. So you got about
About
Scott's.
the same.
You're still okay. No snow yet. Or is
Not in the valley, but
it valley?
up in the high Uintas and stuff, they had like a couple feet.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Ready?
I do not miss that crap at all.
Oh, that's crazy.
People's always like, "Don't you miss the seasons? Don't you?" I said, "No.
Oh.
I live in a place where they got the state got rid of those shitty seasons."
Heck with seasons. It should be warm all the time.
Well, we don't really have a fall, and we kind of really don't have a spring either.
So you
It's
guys,
just-
you're gonna plant. If you're gonna plant a garden, you would basically plant it in wintertime, right?
yeah, like we got tomatoes and peppers going right now.
You can plant gardens all year long, can't you?
Yeah, you just got to know what to put out and what you can't put out.
Right. Because you still get frost sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be your only threat, would be the frost. Huh. Interesting, right, Dan?
Yep.
We got to wait till spring. You
Yeah.
got and plan away.
Like heck, after a couple of weeks, you got stuff planted. The frost doesn't happen.
Right? Yeah, we've already had our first frost, so it's over. It is over, but the grass is still growing.
You think we're gonna have a cold winter this year or not? What's your?
I'm afraid we are.
That's what I'm thinking.
Really,
I think you guys are going to be cold and we're going to be dry.
yeah, I think it's
We are due for one because we have not had a cold winter, cold winter like with a lot of snow and stuff.
right.
About 7-8 years.
I'm worried.
Yeah, it's
I
been a
know-
while since we had a real cold one. So
I was going to say, I know at least for 4.
Cold and a lot of snow. Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather have the cold than a lot of snow. Just give me the cold.
I'm always the way I look at it is if it's going to be cold outside, then I want there to be snow on the ground. If there's no snow on the ground,
Well, that's one good way of looking at it.
Hey, you guys ever seen that video of I don't is it Doomit or Dermot, the guy that cleans Parker's Gold?
Doom it.
Chris Dumet.
Is it Doomit? Okay. Well, I seen a video that he explained how he cleans Parker's Gold, and I never knew that he stuck that in a mill, like the black sands and all that stuff. He puts that in a mill and smashes the gold and the black sands and everything for easier clean out.
Really?
It makes it easier to get it away from the gold. I was like, huh. So I think like this year I'm going to take, because I got a big Thumbler's tumbler with giant ball bearings in it. I think I'm going to try that this year and see if it makes a big difference on our clean out.
Did not know he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope, I did not.
No,
just to
That's
see if
one-
you get anything extra out of them, you mean, right?
Yeah, because he'll smash up the black sands. And black sands sometimes does have gold in it. But I guess if you make the black sand smaller, it makes it easier to run through the table or pan it or,
Yeah.
Miller table, whatever.
Sure. Huh. Hope you
The gold doesn't do anything, maybe flatten, but
Right.
your gold's still in there.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Because Parker's Gold's always clean as a whistle. And I know
Yeah.
they got a shaker table, but
It's got a lot of coarse gold too. So
Yeah.
It don't look like a lot of fine gold.
I'm going to try to, you know what? I'm going to make a video on that too. See what the difference is. I'm lining up videos this year, trying to figure out what I can do.
Well, we see your boy Rob's already started. So
some of them say, oh yeah, if you guys out there in Radio Land hasn't seen Rob Weigold's video, you got to go watch it. It's pretty factual and entertaining at the same time.
yeah.
Where is it at?
On YouTube.
It's on the tube.
Go ahead and post the link.
It's on Gold Prospector Space and it's on YouTube on Rob's Y Gold Metal Detecting.
Okay.
He does a pretty good voiceover on it.
Is it Metal Detecting Adventures or just Rob Y Gold's Metal Detecting
Why goes Metal Detecting Adventures?
Adventures? It is
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Y Gold Metal Detecting Adventures.com. .org. .net.
Man, I was going to say too. I don't remember. I think I remember you showing it to me. That picker you found, but man, it looked a lot bigger on camera.
Yeah, it is.
They always do,
Yeah, no doubt.
right? Always, always. You know what else looks bigger? Gold prices.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Yeah, way, he says.
All-time highs.
All right, folks, hang on
Hanging
to your
on.
hats. Gold, as of today, went up $3 on the Friday, and we finished out Friday at $2,724.80. So that's almost
$27.
$2,700.
2,700, baby.
Wow.
It's up there. Now, for all you guys out there that likes the silver, you're gonna love this too. That thing went up 0.13, and it's at 33.91.
Ooh.
Yeah, she was smoking. Platinum had a $4 rise at 1,027. Palladium, we took a $2 rise, and that took it to $1,108. And rhodium, what is it, Tim?
Punch.
They are not trading rhodium for nothing, but it's still setting at $5,100.
They
So-
won't. They don't want it to go lower, so they won't move any.
Like I said, I can't figure it. Like, man, the summer they were trading rhodium like crazy.
What was the most it was up to at one point? Wasn't it like 30 or
It
40,000?
was. I swear.
Uh,
I think it was like 15 or 19.
Yeah,
Sharon,
thinking around 15, but I'm not
Tell?
sure.
I thought it was a lot more than that.
it was
Not
high
sure.
because we was always like, "What? Why is rhodium going up so much?"
Well, like on this right here, it says the low was 4,650 and the high was 51, where it's at now.
Oh,
But I thought it was higher than
I
that.
thought a lot higher than that.
Well, see, the gold actually went to 2,725.50. That's the high, and the low was 2,719. That was the low for this week. So that's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
That's
it's
the high
the
end.
low for the week and the high.
Yeah, I think it's the high and the low in the week.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
it was higher than that. It was way up there. Because
And what's really surprising was like the gold and the silver. I mean, everything's went up and still looking green. But what's really funny is because the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, and the S&Ps, they're all in the green as well. So that's kind of shaky in my opinion. But because usually if the gold's going up and everything's good, there's going to be like the Dow and the Nasdaq are usually in the red. But
well,
they're not.
David asked, when did the silver beat the gold years back? He heard.
It would have had to have been a long time ago because silver's
Yeah.
never been really high.
it had to been like
I was
in
gonna say,
hundreds.
I was going to say because gold, the lowest I ever seen gold was probably in the, what, 90s? That was like 300 an ounce, something
I
like that.
think farther than that. I think back into like the 1800s. And
Right.
I don't think silver's ever been more than gold.
I didn't either, unless it would have had to been way, 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 way back. Like when they first started discovering gold and silver. Yeah. But speaking of, how's that Bitcoin, Jaron?
Well, real quick, I just wanted to, since you guys were making me think about it,
Oh,
the
sorry.
high of silver I see is $49.76.
That's a nice high too.
So
For silver, yeah.
Yeah, it would have had to been a long, long time ago.
Back in 2020, 2019.
2011.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's almost $50.
So the Bitcoin today is $69,039.65 right now.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Fighting the old all-time highs as resistance.
It's gonna go. It's gonna go. It's going.
Bottom's going to fall out.
We'll see what happens. Will do. Keeping an eye on it. Right now. I think it's gonna hit 70 before the night's over.
Quit it.
Just saying. I think it's gonna. Think so.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, so we got a special guest joining us tonight too, don't we, Rob?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, I'm right in the middle of chat with them.
Okay. Hey, you want to tell everybody who that is for those that
Well-
are unaware?
Yeah, we have a fella from another podcast called Beyond Sight and Sound, or Detecting Beyond Sight and Sound. His name is Chuck Smally, and it'd be great to have him on. So
All
I'm
right.
gonna go ahead and give him the link.
Go ahead and get him in here.
Here we go.
Bring on that beautiful beam footage.
I was going to say, let's roll that beautiful beat. Hey, thinking alike. That's kind of scary, Scott.
Link is set.
Link is sent. Yep. They do.
Now he's like I said, he's a co-host with on Beyond Sight and Sound with Josh Kimmel, and he's very knowledgeable in the metal detecting community, and goes over to England a lot. And I wish I can go there. He's I believe he's done some prospecting. His main gig is metal detecting.
Metal detecting. 100% though. Okay. Need to pick Chuck's brain.
He's trying to get that audio connected.
Got to connect to the audio. Okay, he is connected, but he is muted.
Look, if you can hear us, go down to the left. You'll see your camera and your microphone.
You must unmute.
He is on mute. He's probably sitting back. How do you run this?
Well, he shouldn't have no issues because he does also, like I said, with
wait.
Josh, they do video too. So
It's unmuted. Okay. All right. Is you going to use video tonight, Chuck, or no? Okay. Technical difficulties.
just a second, folks.
Oh, we're muted again.
He might be, like I said, he might be trying to figure it out. I don't know.
It'd be giving him problems like it does Jaron.
Well, while we wait for him to do that, let's say hi to our chat.
There you
Dave,
go.
Yeah, Ogre, Charles, Jane Hartley, John Hunt. Let's see, you got Cottonwood Trails, Ray Rusaw,
Dave Villa,
Eric Carter, and I think that's all I see, but I'll scroll back down to the bottom because as soon as I start saying names, everybody's
Right.
hey, I'm here.
Popping in.
Charles Hanson, Dave Villa. There's two names on here.
Howdy, everybody over there in the
No doubt, no doubt.
YouTube land tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Chuck is still muted.
He was just unmuted and then
Just
went
for a
back.
second, he was. Yeah. Double huh.
There's he's unmuted. Can you hear us, Chuck?
Chuck.
Yeah, for some reason his microphone ain't picking up.
Testing. Still are not hearing you. Rob, are you talking to him in chat?
I just sent him a message on Messenger. Do we still have the way they call in? No?
So
Okay.
that is a thing of the past.
I was going to say that phone number got shot a long time ago, didn't it?
Yeah. A waste of our
He can try leaving, coming back in, and doing the tests before he actually enters the show. Because we might have more than one microphone.
Yeah, good idea. Chuck, if you can hear us, you can try that. Or tell him that, Rob, in your chat.
Oh yeah, he might not be able to hear us.
Right.
Yep.
Tell him if he wants to go ahead and leave. Get back on. Test microphone, test audio, test, and then connect.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
Chuck, can you hear us? No. Well, he is unmuted. He got that far. I got some good questions, I think.
You know, I seen a video today just to wait for him to get on, but I seen a video today. It was on my Facebook watch. And these guys, it was in Australia, and they went back to this way remote place, and there was like a creek that you would just step over.
Huh?
This guy took a pan of it, and it looked like he took a half vial of gold and poured in the pan. That's how much gold was in that.
Really?
He goes, I'm going to go up and see what I'm going to keep following it. He went up, I don't know, probably, he says he went up 25 to 30 more feet. The second pan, I was like, man, I would just be panning. He had, it was a lot of gold for just a gold pan. Like, wow, man.
Australia.
That is Australia.
Just never know. Right? Just never know.
It was nice looking gold too. I mean,
Yes.
like chunky.
Chunky?
I've never seen bad looking gold.
That's true too. You got a good point. Yeah. I don't think so. All gold's pretty.
I've
Yeah,
seen that.
I'm getting an update here, so sorry about that.
Okay.
That stuff out of South Dakota, North Dakota, that's bad looking gold. It's too much copper mixed in with it.
But still, it's pretty.
Yep.
Man, the copper really.
Yeah, it's still pretty though. That's the thing. It's just,
Yeah.
He says it's not working.
Ooh,
Of course.
I like gold.
Yeah, I like gold. Can he hear us, Rob?
Did he do the test?
Yeah, I kind of want to pick this guy's brain,
Right.
and I'm sure some people in the chat would like to pick his brain too.
Well, he never backed out and came back. He never. That's what I'm saying. Can he hear us? Oh, I seen his box light up.
I hear something now. You lit up anyway.
Yeah, he did light up.
Moving papers.
No, he can't hear.
He cannot hear us.
I-
So tell him to go down to the by the microphone.
He can see us, but he can't hear us. So
He can see us, but he can't hear us. Hey, Jaron, can you show him?
I can hear him now.
I hear him. Chuck. Oh, he
he
can't.
might be using headphones.
That might be why.
It might be big. Is it whose cell phone just dinged?
It's his. He's lighting up. He's saying something. Right there. He's typing or something.
Might have to go to the audio settings.
Tell him he's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear him right click.
You're that close, Chuck. His box is lighting up, so it's wanting to give him audio. Headphones on. Hey, he just got your message, Rob.
Yeah, it's a speaker or something issue.
Yeah.
Headphones, speaker.
Yeah. Got to click that microphone on the left.
Yeah, he switched out. I was going to come
Yeah,
back
I
in.
told him to exit and come back in. Maybe that might work.
It might resolve the problem.
Uh,
Yeah. That is a possibility. Obviously, they don't use Zoom.
It might be StreamYards or Spreaker or someone. No, it is Spreaker. So that's what he
Well,
uses.
we use Spreaker too, but
1,000 mics.
I'm trying to think what if he's on Spreaker broadcast.
We're actually on Amazon Prime for free too.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to. I don't get it. I don't even know what the problem could be. Okay, connecting.
connecting. Connected to audio.
Okay. Anywho,
Hey, good night, folks. Thank you for joining us on Prospectors Radio.
Chuck. Chuck.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. At least you can hear me.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. There's a little lag time.
Okay.
So,
We'll see.
I'm
It could just be your.
Ah. all right. So I can see you,
Okay.
hear you.
Okay. That's.
All right.
I think that'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. We just can't see you.
Right.
That's okay. Maybe you don't want to see me. I don't know.
Do you have a camera on? Is that what's going on? Maybe causing a lag?
I've got my camera on. I can see on the screen myself and all you guys. Swiftwater, Dennis's iPhone. Tim, I can see you. I can stop this.
Yeah, where it says stop video. There you are. Oh, right.
Nope.
Only
Yeah,
me.
the lag time's gone, you guys. So
Just do that.
Hey, as long as you can hear, it's good. Yeah.
So
Chuck, tell the people out there a little bit about yourself, how you got started detecting and prospecting and all that stuff.
I started detecting in 1971.
Wow.
I met a gentleman. I was working up on Lake of the Woods, Minnesota, for a resort and a flying service and guiding fishermen. And this guy came up and said, "Can you get me to the old homesteads on the islands?" I said, "Yes, I can." And I said, "Why?" And he showed me this huge White's Goldmaster that weighed about like 9 pounds. And I said, "I've never seen one of these." And he was showing me, and we went out, and I went out with it. And he was going, there was old buildings in that there, and I was messing around the barn. And the first find I ever made was a 1903 Winchester rifle.
Wow.
Holy cow.
And it was in the barn under the dirt and a pile of stuff. And I heard this long sound, and I started scraping around. It wasn't deep, and I rolled this 1903 up, and I went over to him. He was over by the old house site. And I handed him that, and he went, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No, it was under this pile of stuff along it." And that's the first find I ever made. And that kind of hooked me because I like to hunt and shoot. And I thought, man, if I can find guns and restore them, that'd be good.
Sure.
Well, did it have a lot of damage on it?
It was rusty, but we messed with it with real oil and stuff and got the action working.
I'll be darned. That is cool.
So
that's a cool first find.
Yep. And he wanted it. It was his detector.
Right.
So, and I guided him, and he tipped me very, very well, and he took the rifle, but I wish I had that.
I bet.
Which was fine. I mean, I was happy with what went on back
Sure.
then. So in late 72, when I got back to Northern Illinois, and Joe and I decided we were moving back and not working up there anymore. I was flying Cessna 185 Super Skywagon, and I hadn't got my license all the way yet. And I came back here, and I never landed a plane on terra firma. It was always pontoon.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted me to restart it, and I didn't have money to pay for the classes.
Oh, wow.
So went to work and that kind of stuff, and that got left behind. But then my wife and I went on a honeymoon in early 73, and I already had a White's Coin Master, and I had it with me. I just bought that. She wanted to pan for gold. We were out in the Black Hills. Okay. So we went to this $5 panning hut. It was built in the tent, and the old boy liked us, and he took us under his wing, and I bought this first pan I had was a steel one. Mm-hmm. And he said, "We're going to scuff that up for you because it's not rusted. You can't really do well without a rusty pan." And I said, "Where do we go?" And he actually owned a claim up on French Creek and gave us directions to get out there in French Creek. And it was the same site that Custer brought his guys in.
Wow.
And as we're going along this site, there were old rocker boxes that were dilapidated because there was a gold rush again in the 30s. People don't realize people were broke, so they went looking for gold. Okay. And we went up there, and I found a couple flakes and some little pickers, and we were just panning, having a blast. But I started metal detecting out in this flat out there, and I came up with 2 Indian War era buttons, a Courier U.S. top of a Courier box which is round, a bunch of other stuff. And 2 years later in Treasure Magazine, I see they found the Custer campground and I'd worked it already.
Wow.
Cool.
That is cool.
And that I blame Jill for getting me into gold prospect. It was her fault. She didn't want to do it. And we started going different places and trying panning. And of course, you start panning, what happens? You got to have a sluice.
Sure.
Then you got to have more. Then you need, I like that high banker idea.
Yeah.
And you go from there. And then I started selling some of the equipment. I had a friend that I got with out here and started selling Fisher and Compass metal detectors with him and AH Pro. And I expanded, started selling some gold pans and just small stuff and traveling around. And we went back to Arizona and down through that area. And I learned a little here and there, and I joined the GPAA.
Right.
But my brother-in-law had moved in the meantime. He got out of high school, went to Fairbanks, entered in the University of Alaska at Fairbanks, had a little house up there. Jill and I went up in 83 and visited him, and he knew some people, and I got on some claims. And that was during the time when gold was down. It was $3 something an ounce, and the cat mines closed because it cost more to produce an ounce of gold than their cost.
Sure.
So I got on some neat places and panned and sluiced and ran a high banker, a little portable high banker that was called a backpacker. I was selling the guys' equipment out of Arizona, and it worked well. It really did. I had that for a long time. And then I got more interested in detecting, and I knew guys in Wyoming, and we went down on claims in the Jack Morrill area outside of South Pass City and detected out there. And I was finding gold with the Mine Lab Golden Hawk.
Wow.
Never even heard of that one.
I never heard of that one.
That was the Golden Hawk. That was the advanced model at the time. That was about 1997, maybe 96. They just come out with that one, and it morphed into the Eureka Gold.
Okay, I think I heard that one.
Yeah, they changed that into the Eureka Gold, and I was using that, and I was going to Alaska and coming back and forth and using my vacation up on all that kind of stuff. And I hunt and I fish and I do that, and Jill comes along, and she is the best panner I've ever seen in my life, but she quit doing my panning for me. bought me a Archimedes wheel, and use that. But she's still good panning. We were out in Wyoming one day, and she was she likes rock. She's a rock hunter, and she's picking out all the garnets and setting them aside and doing my panning. And we're down on a GPA claim it's in Albany County, Wyoming, and I think it was Big Nose Kate was the name of it. And I was using my small dredge. I had a small 2.5 inch, and a couple guys set up above me with a 3-inch, and I'd done pretty well. But Jill was setting this material off to the side. She thought it was lead. And we were finding some gold. I think I got about a half, 3/4 of an ounce in 2 days there, and I did pretty good. But she still had this pile of stuff, and a guy stopped by and was talking to me. Have you seen any of this? And he had a platinum nugget.
Really?
Yeah. That area is real well known for platinum nuggets. And I said, no. We walked over to see what Jill was doing. And he said, what, that little pile of stuff you got in that other pan? He said, that's all platinum.
I'll be darned.
I wouldn't have known it if it jumped up and bit me in the behind.
Exactly. It's like, if you don't know, you just don't know.
Just don't know. No, I mean, we didn't have all what we're doing right now. We didn't have interconnectivity as we do today. We had magazines,
right?
We had face-to-face, and
it.
I live in the Midwest. Panning for gold is almost unheard of until you get into Northeast Iowa and a couple places up there, and a little bit in Missouri, and some in Illinois at Glacial Moraine by Peoria. But I really got into the mechanics of gold mining and learning the physics of it and what it means in the water pressure and this kind of stuff. And so I was going up, I met Perry Massey, and I went up to GPA camp in Arctic Creek. And I went there for a long time, quite often. I met a lot of great prospectors. They taught me a lot, but they were impressed because I was able to teach them a few things. And we all worked together. And I expanded. I was with some guys on some claims in Alaska. I had a failed gold venture in Arizona, and I won't mention that, but we had all the property and we dumped money into, gold mining is a hole you throw money into. And but then I had some success in some claims in Wyoming and sold those and just back and forth learning. Right. And I kept selling detectors, and my lab kept advancing with their gold detectors, and they got better and better and better. Fisher and their little gold bug, that was a great machine. Oh. And but they just continued to get better, and I used 2200 up in Alaska. I've used the 5000, the 4500, the 4800. But my favorite for Alaska is an SDC. Why? Because up in Alaska, it rains, and some of your other machines just don't do well in damp weather. And they've morphed beyond that. Now the Equinox series has a great gold prospecting program in it that they took out of the 705. The Xterra 705 was a great little gold machine. People just didn't know it. And that morphed over to the Equinox series. And those are good gold machines. Now there's areas they don't work well in, and your pulse induction are the winners there. But that's where I've gotten. I've been all over. I've done very well. I found, no, I didn't get rich, but I bought a new pickup truck off gold and sold it. It paid for my house.
Well, you've done all right then, Chuck.
I guess.
Oh, more than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. I still go up north. I go do AKAU. I love Nome. I love poking around the old tailings piles and keeping one eye behind your head for the bear. And I take groups up to Betty's camp. I've got 2 weeks this year. I'm taking 2 groups up, and they have a good time, and we've done very well because they listen to me. Most of them listen to me. I said, this isn't where you want to be. Over there is where you want to be. Right. And our biggest find with a detector up there is 7.9 troy ounce. And we had a 2.75 come up this year. My biggest up there ever was a 3. I found a lot of 1s and 2s. And we've had guys literally could not believe what they found. And you got to get over it. You got to move about. And I tell my guys when they go with me, number one, this is a no whine trip. And I don't mean the wine you drank. Don't whine about it. If you aren't finding, you got to move about more. And I don't care if it's raining or snowing. Gold's work.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. If you ain't looking, or if you ain't swinging that detector, you ain't gonna find it.
Yeah, 7 ounce. That's a honker.
That is a honker.
And he was offered a pretty good amount of money for it, but he took it home. And then he's been offered a lot more money for it, and I think he sold it.
Wow. Nice. Way to go. Good for him. Yeah, that's cool.
Tell you what they offered would buy you a brand new pickup.
Oh, come on. Serious? Man.
Seriously.
Well, judging on the prices of pickups.
Mercy. That's be nice, though. That's awesome. So Rob said you even go up to London and England or wherever, too.
I just got back from England 2 weeks ago.
Really?
With Ron and his group and Tim, some of the guys that travel with me up north. I go out with England there. The first trip I went with them, I did get a gold piece. I got an 1806 3 guinea, and I found Roman coins, fibulas. This trip I got hammered silver, Roman coin, Roman fibula. I wasn't one of the lucky ones to get a gold piece this time, but one guy got what's called a noble probably minted in the early 1400s, which is, it was folded, but they'll be able, they'll be able to bend it back out.
Right.
And that's quite to find. And then a couple of the staters. They're Celtic. That's the end of the Iron Age, beginning of Bronze Age era. Yeah, they're gold.
Wow.
And gold on them. So we work the field. I mean, you walk 10, 12 miles a day.
Right.
So
Like, what's a state?
Just working old turned fields up there or something. Gotcha.
You got it.
Nice.
And they pay the farmer for us to be on. We're paying for it, but we get to some amazing things.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
I've detected all the way down to Venezuela area, out the ocean, Aruba, all the way up on the Steese Highway past the Arctic Circle, all the way over to England, Italy, Sardinia. It's been a great ride. It's a good hobby.
Now, do you take your detector with you everywhere you go? Then that's what it sounds like.
Not everywhere I go, that detector's in there, and my wife rolls her eyes. I suppose we're going detecting. Yeah, we are.
Do you got like a big cabinet full of all your cool finds?
Safe.
Oh, well, okay. Or safe.
I do. I mean, I've got displays. I could bore you to death if I could get the camera to work holding stuff up. But
right.
I have sold a lot of gold, and when gold's at the right price, and bang, it goes. And right now, gold's up again, 27.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but so I'm sure you found plenty of Civil War relics and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I go out and do that. I got more into, believe it or not, in Eastern Pennsylvania following the War of 1812 and the Revolutionary War, and I got on some sites there. I even have I found, of course, you find the English coins that were lost out in their area, but I have regimental silver number 9 off the 9th U.S. volunteers, those hats they wore in the Revolutionary War. I found a regimental piece. I found some buttons, that kind of stuff. And that's digging history. And I like digging that history. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun.
That is. That sounds like the coolest stuff to me.
Yeah.
Something like that from the Civil War.
With you guys and your gold hunting, that is tops. That is my favorite thing to go do.
Really?
It has been for years. I've been involved with gold hunting and got to know some of the best in the industry. I got to know Steve Pomranke back before he ever had the idea for the Christine Rose. And wow. He was working up at Nome, and he's quite the character, and we still talk a lot. And I met Sean. I met a lot of them off Bering Sea, and Pomranke bought equipment from me and that kind of stuff. So I've had a great time with those guys. And I mean, there's not many guys you can walk up to and talk, shake their hand. You wouldn't know it. He's a hard-working devil, but he's found $88 million in gold. Think about that.
That's a lot, right? Good Lord.
$8 million, fellas. That's a hard stopper. And then I worked for Mine Lab contractually for a 10-year period, and they sent me all over the place, and I went all throughout the United States and did appearances and went to things on the East Coast, from Atlantic City over to Philly, down to Florida, over to Oregon and Washington and things like that. And I enjoyed that, but the traveling part of it gets a little old sometimes when you're flying around. But I got to hang out, and I've got to know Gary Drayton very, very well. And we've hunted together. I've had him here in Illinois. He came to one of our hunts for the Illinois Iowa Club, and then we went hunting together. And his main goal, fellas, was to find an Indian head penny.
Really? He hasn't found an Indian head penny?
He had not. No, we got him out. But you know what he found before that? I'll tell you a great story. I got a bunch of the club members. We taken Gary out through Iowa with a friend of mine. We got on some of the best places you can imagine. And we were on an 1855 to 1935 fairground that had a racetrack on it, and we're hunting it. I'm popping Indians, and Gary's up where the old grandstand area was. He come down, and Gary digs everything.
Right.
Literally digs everything. He's got garbage, but he said, I couldn't find an Indian penny. And he holds up a 1922 peace dollar, but that was up there.
Wow.
And half the guys in the club had never found a silver dollar. So the next day we take him to a spot, old schoolyard. It's Grant Wood Schoolyard, and that was the artist Grant Wood. That's where he went to school and did all that, and it's historic. We had permission on it. We're digging a few things. Gary comes up. I still can't find an Indian penny, but he said, I found this. What's that? He found an 1857 Flying Eagle cent.
Oh, geez.
I just looked at him going, buddy, change your target. Say you want to find this, and you'll find an Indian.
Yep.
The third day we're up again up in Iowa, where there was an old church. It was gone. The cemetery was up to the right, but there was a huge yard around where the church had been, and we had permission on it. Went in there, and that was Indian Head Penny Haven. I think he got 5 of them or 6.
Wow.
And some Mercs and other stuff, and he finally a happy camper, because down in Florida you don't find many Indian Head pennies.
Okay. And
You find 1715 stuff. Okay. You don't find Indian pennies. So, but he's a great guy to hunt with and hang out with. And I got to travel with him quite a bit. So, and I messaged him if he wanted to listen in tonight to get on here. But the way he answered me, he said, I can't get onto the show with you till later.
Right.
So he's got thoughts of coming on with us some night, and I'll keep you and Josh, and we'll get him on a couple shows.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have him on sometime, And
he's a good head. He's nice.
I see him on Oak Island. It's like, this guy's found everything, Yes,
the guy has found it all. You're right. And I've hunted with him on the beaches, and the man takes off at about 90 miles an hour.
Right.
I mean, I'm a slow hunter. I hunt methodically. I'm looking for gold.
Sure.
He just goes, he says, no good in here, 2 sanded in, hop in the truck, and away we go to another beach. And I'm like, I covered 30 feet. You did 3 miles. It's a lot of fun.
So have you ever found any of them like old shipwreck kind of treasure stuff?
I found a spike out of one, and I found a Malvides, a 1618 something that was down there. I have not found a piece of H yet down there. Yeah. I have found the Spanish coins down in central Iowa, down through southeast and into Illinois on the trails that came to the Mississippi River, because my other time, this is where I like to study and go to the old spots. And I've got a few reals. I have 2 8 reals I found, and I have several halves, 2 reals, 1 4 real, cuts, that kind of stuff out of an area down south of me. So, but I've never found anything on the beach other than lead weights. Well, I found some rings and that, I shouldn't say, but and I go to Aruba and we hunt the beach. Aruba's fun. You hunt till noon, then you go have a toddy, and the rest of the day, who gives a shit?
Right. So do you like hunting beaches more than fields, or you prefer your fields?
No.
You like your fields?
Field and placer. I like hunting old placer mining areas, the old tailings. That's fun.
Yeah, that's what they always say. Check the old tailing piles. Mm-hmm.
That's hunting. That's where we get this stuff that blew out the back end. But knowing the history of the area, knowing what went on, studying old photographs, things like that gave me a feel for this site. I've hunted it a lot, and you kind of got to know the flow and the ebb and where the narrow gauge railroad was, and they didn't clean up. They took their finds down in the Nome and cleaned it up. So when sluices broke, you'd see piles of stuff for no reason. Go hunt that, because the sluice broke. They shut it off because they had a limited amount of water. They didn't pick it back up. They fixed it as fast as they could and opened her back up again.
Right. Sure. Just continued on. Yep.
That's where the gold's found, and you go look at those places, and it's part of it. And I've done the whole thing all the way up through working with Bob on his mine and running 100 tons an hour down to just a gold pan or a detector. And I prefer the detector and the gold pan and a high banker now because it beats you up.
Well, it does. It does. It can be hard on you. Like you said, bent over all day in a creek. It's like, Jesus God.
And that water up there didn't warm up any.
Right. That cold water doesn't make it any easier. That's for sure. That's why it's like, this metal detecting thing. Yeah.
So how long have you been in it, Tim?
In what, gold?
Yeah.
Oh, God, probably now, let me see. Over, God, I can't even think anymore. 16, 17 years, I always wanted to do it. And everybody used to always say, there ain't no gold in Ohio, you idiot. And I was be like, they're like, you got to go to California if you want to find gold, or Alaska. And I'd be like, okay, And then the day I finally seen the GPAA show, I was watching it, and they were in Ohio. And I'm like, really? And so I joined the GPAA and started. And
if anybody out there is listening and you want to get into it, look into the GPAA.
Exactly. We've always said that. That's where I think every one of us have got our start. Is with the GPAA, and it'll put you on plenty of properties you could search on, and you'll find gold.
Yes, you'll find gold. You got to work for it. You got to think outside the box sometimes because some of these properties are well loved.
Yeah. But the weirdest part is where they was finding the gold was like a half an hour away from where I lived. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I went, got my starter kit from the GPAA and hit the creeks and haven't looked back.
Good. So
it's crazy.
And the number of what I really have taken away from everything I've got to do in the treasure hunting thing, and I found some things that would blow your mind. I mean, just some caches, things like that, is the people you meet, the friends you make, the guys you get to learn from, and they learn from you, and it's a good time. It's a real great hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, I've hunted, I've fished, scuba dive, tried everything. The wife's always hung in there with me, and she likes doing some of the stuff I do. She's a rock hound. I mean, we were in Wyoming. We're up at a reservoir, and there was about a 300-pound chunk of pink quartz there. It was gorgeous. I want you to get this up to the truck. I turned around and looked at her, and I said, what do I look like, a bulldozer? She said, yeah, wouldn't that look great in the yard? I said, if I got the truck halfway close enough, and if I got this to the back of the truck, just who the hell's going to lift it up? And she still reminds me of it. She said, I'll bet that rock's still there.
Still there.
But a big chunk of pink quartz, she wanted to bring it home, and it was not coming.
I think every one of us are like that. It's like, man, I got more dumb rocks that it's like, really? Why do I save these things? And it's like, when you're prospecting, you'll come across that one. You're like, oh, that's a nice rock. I'll just take that home with me.
Not me. If it ain't worth money, it ain't worth it.
Right. It ain't worth a dime, but it's just a cool rock.
And I was crew on a late summer hunt in California with Corey Rudolph and company, where the GPA members came, and I'm trying to remember the American River. Anyway, I was out there 6 weeks, and then Jill flew out to Sacramento, and I picked her up, and she come out for 3 weeks and stayed with me there. And the trail down was narrow and tough, and it was one ATV wide, and you had to be real careful getting equipment in and out. But my wife was bribing the two guys with ATVs. She was going around picking up rocks. When you go back up, set that in my truck. I get up there, I have a ton of rocks to take home. Yeah, I brought them home. They made her. I didn't have to carry them up the hill one at a time. That was the big thing.
I bet you had a nice rock garden in your yard.
Yeah, but she, unfortunately, the area that I really love in North Carolina near Asheville, which just got hammered, the Polyspout Creek area, and I've prospected that. But Jill likes going there. She gets amethyst.
Yeah.
She's found World Barrel, and that place got hammered, and my heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
Man.
That's crazy. That storm did some damage, didn't it? Yeah.
Clear up the coast.
Yeah.
All, that kind of stuff. So
now, see, isn't this normally the times like after them big storms, you guys hit them beaches in Florida where like them old shipwrecks were and stuff?
Yep, they do. They start getting the sand cuts. In other words, they slowly fill in all year, and then it takes a tropical storm or hurricane to come around at the right angle and start cutting that sand out again, and you work the cuts and that kind of stuff. And I found jewelry on there, and I found older coins. I just haven't found as old as I'd like. And like the rest of us would, one Spanish piece of 8 would just do it great. But the nor'easters develop, and sometime that wind rotation comes up along that east coast of Florida and erodes that beach. And from Vero Beach, that's the Treasure Coast area, and you can hunt from the low water tide up to the berm, and anything you would find in there, you get to keep.
Wow. Okay.
You can't go out in the water. You can't do that on some of those areas because those are claims by dredgers, divers, and they catch you out there. They can take your equipment, they can take your fines, whatever. You can go to a low water spot on low tide, but you can't go out unless you actually have rights to work that as a salver.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what you got any big adventures coming up that you're getting ready to go on?
I'm heading to Alaska 2 weeks this year. I got a crew of 15 going with me. The first one, 7 the second. I'm booked up. I took all our remaining spaces there. And then I'll be in Aruba in January and England in the fall. And other things pop up. I got hunts I got to go to. Detecting the Heartland, Chicago Fest. These guys like have me come up, set up, be a dealer, and I donate them stuff, and we have a good time. Then sometimes they have me speak to the crowd and that kind of stuff, and it's a good time.
Right. Definitely cool.
Yeah, booked. There's another 1 or 2 hunts I want to go to. I've been asked to go, and I'm trying to work them out for next summer already. So hopefully we can get into it. But I have a lot of good friends in Detecting the Heartland. You guys take a look at that site. They've got like 10,000 members in the Midwest. Illinois, Iowa Treasure Hunters, the Chicago Dig Fest group. They've got a great club, and IVHRA. I got a bunch of clubs around me, and I've done panning demonstrations for them, and we've talked gold, and I taught them how to detect gold. Some of them travel with me and that type of thing. And I'm still got my foot in Northern Cal. I'm with Joey Wilson. Joey Wilson used to be the producer for Prospecting America, GPA, and he owns a store in Oroville. And I have the Mine Lab equipment and some other stuff out there, and we sell prospecting equipment in downtown Oroville, California.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember Joey Wilson. I actually he had I bet you it's been like 8 years, 9 years ago, but he had a Facebook like contest, and
Yep.
I won all of his CDs.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. Well, then you've got a CD on me that he flew out and we shot in Keokuk, Iowa. We're following the Mark Twain Trail, and I got permission to hunt Sam Clemens' brother Orion's house site and his mother's house site. Wow. So
that's
you
cool.
Got that on there. Take a look at it. That was when the 705 and the E-Track had just come out. And We did pretty good, but it was the history we found wasn't in the ground. It was at the Keokuk Library. They kept pulling boxes down, and they had the original Keokuk directory printed up, the first copy of it with notes between Orion and Sam Clemens. They're brothers.
Okay.
Change this, do that, and they had that, and we got it in our hands. We're looking at it and going, Sam and Orion were leaving notes for each other to print up the first Keokuk directory. But they were big abolitionists, and being on the Missouri border, actually below the Missouri border, if you look at Keokuk, it's a point that goes down into Missouri. Orion's printing press and building got set afire. They drugged the press and threw it in the Mississippi River, and they never found that press. And that's when Sam left and went on the gold rush in 1849 and became Mark Twain.
I'll be darned. Didn't know that.
Huh.
So there's a lot of great history tied into the gold rushes. I always tell people we didn't advance to California for grape wine. We went there for gold. We went west for gold and beaver pelts. We did not expand this country on the search for farmland.
No.
No.
Well, Chuck,
No.
all these places you've been and things you've done, what would you say the scariest moment you've had?
Okay. That was one of the scariest moments. There were two. One of the scariest moments was up in Alaska. I was on an ATV, had a trailer on, two of us heading out to a dredge camp and following the creek along Arctic Creek or Cripple River before we got to Arctic Creek. We come up to the willows along the river. The salmon were running, but you're putting along, you aren't thinking. And Arlen McCool's in front of me, and James is behind me. He's yelling, I'm yelling, because over the top of the willows is a big grizzly bear head. Arlen can't hear anyway, and he's on an ATV. Finally, he comes around, and we're just pointing. He says, what? And the bear dropped down out of sight. Grizzly, we got to get out of here. He charged. He came out of the willows on a full charge. I laid across the handlebars with a 44, and the hammer was back. He stood up at about 20 yards from us, popping his jowls and clicking his teeth.
He's not happy with you, that's for sure.
Rev the engines, and they swung around, and the bear dropped, did a 90, went back in the willows, and I'm trying to back a trailer up on a Honda ATV that you got to push this button down.
Yeah.
Pull the brake, get in reverse, okay? I couldn't turn around in the tundra. It was too rough. Well, we got to turn. Here he come again. I swung around now. I'm turned around, but I got the hammer back, and he ran back in the willows. I put the hammer down, caught up with Arlen, and I said, he said, you're pale. I said, I'm still shaking. I was going to put a row of 44s down him, right down as a suit coat, man.
Oh, yeah.
That scared me. I generally, at seeing the bears at the distance is one thing, but that one scared me. And then I was diving off Jamaica, and I was doing my open water dive at 150. I had to go down 150 foot, and it was neat. My partner and I are down there. There's 10 of us. It's the final dive. We're going to do some wreck diving that was deeper, and we had to have this dive. And our dive director, as we're coming up slowly along the bottom, there's this old coral, and he punches the coral, and about a 16-foot long bull shark come out.
Oh.
And he came right at and over us, scared the bejesus out of me. When I got up on that boat, he says, usually when I punch him, he just hunkers down and makes faces. I said, I'm not cut bait for any shark. Right? My wife's standing there looking at me going, how close was it? If I'd have put my arm up, I'd have scratched his belly.
No sharks, no bears.
Well, I've had a couple what you call experiences. Those are the two scariest.
Yeah, those are two biggies, though. Shark.
I mean, we went out to SHOT Show one year, and it didn't scare me, but it bothered me. We're flying, and all of a sudden we're circling the airport and getting lower and lower and flying right in front of the tower. And then the pilot on third pass calls in and says, "We don't know if we got landing gear locked or not."
Oh.
So we did a couple more passes. I mean, literally, I'm looking out my airplane window and I could see the faces of the guys real plain in that thing, and they're all looking and they're saying, you know, I know they're saying, "We think it is."
Right, sure.
So they go and set up on an outside runway, and it's in front. This is neat. No, it's not neat, dude.
No.
You don't understand what's being set up here. We're going to the outside runway, and you're going to see more fire trucks and equipment than you've ever seen in your life. Sitting there, ambulances, fire trucks, squads. We're coming in. There's ARF units. Boom. Everything's fine. Get off. We finally get a taxi back to the airport, and all it was is the warning light was saying it wasn't locked.
Right.
Thank God it was just a bad lock.
Yeah.
But that's something, you know, you travel like as much as we have, and it's one of those, oh my God moments.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You've had quite a few of them oh my God moments. It's
Well, I'll tell you what happened to me last year in Aruba. We had some rough water coming in, and I was handling it. Now, I'm a $170 soaking wet, okay? I'm slender. I'm in this water. I'm about mid-chest deep, and I'm working this cut line, and I'd gotten one gold ring out of there, and all of a sudden, I looked over, and there's this wave come in, and I'm looking not over, I'm looking up, and I'm like, I'm screwed. And it just washed me up and spit me out on the beach like a piece of timber. And Tim Russians went, "You okay?" I think so. Ronnie Guanaza, "You okay?" Mostly embarrassed, but
sure. Yeah.
Gave me a little rash and a little bleeding on the leg, but it just the power of Mother Nature.
Is full with. That's right. Yep.
The rest of the day, I stayed up along the tide line.
Yeah, I don't stayed on the beach.
I mean, it just picked me up and spit me out and said, "If you don't pay attention, this is what you get."
Yeah.
So what kind of detector you hunt with nowadays? What's your favorite one to hunt with?
Well, if I am, there's two that go with me to the Gold Camp, and that's I'll take the 900, Equinox 900 and SDC,
right.
2200. Now, those are my Gold Camp ones. I like the Manticore. I still love the 3030. I like the Legend. The Naka Legend is a pretty good machine. I did not use it in the Gold Camp, and we're trying to get set up. I've been talking with them a little bit. There's some other things coming down the pike. So we'll see what they develop here.
Right. Have you heard of any new detectors coming out that are like something that you're like, oh, I got to get my hands on that bad boy?
Like one, and I can't speak too much about it. They told me about it. It's a pulse induction unit, and it's not developed 100% yet, right. and it may have a PI type system of discriminating out the iron. So that has my interest.
Sure. Okay.
You go into a Gold Camp that used to be there, and the iron is thick,
sure.
and tin and junk, and you're working through that as best you can. And not every good gold prospecting unit is good all over in every spot. So, if you're down in Arizona, your pulse induction in some areas is king. The 7,000, the 6,000s, the Axiom. That Garrett Axiom is a great unit also. Okay. And I've used it. In fact, before it was on the market, I had KG and Ringy with me in Alaska. They had a prototype unit of it. I got to use it. I was impressed. We found gold with it. And they did some more tweaking and put it on the market. And it's kind of an unsung unit right now. Okay. And it's picking up steam, though. Joey says he's getting some play on the Axioms.
Okay. Now, what's your thoughts on like that Gold Monster and stuff?
The Gold Monster?
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
And for what it is, for what it does, to get out in the dry wash gold country and you're looking for the sub-gram stuff, it's one of the best. But the Equinox 800 can do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
They can do the same thing. We had a young guy with us last year, and he was from Indiana. The first time he bought a Gold Monster, we went up, and he was killing it with Gold Monster on the small flakes and stuff, nice pieces, that kind of stuff. And he got some grammars, gram and a half, and he got a lot of little stuff. And it was just, he took to it immediately. That's the first time he ever looked for it. We set it up. Here's what you got to do. I showed him how it's simple. Boom. He went out. Hour later, he's got 3 nice little pickers in his hand, and he's happy. And he found a lot all week.
I got you. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. So
we were hunting this one push, and we were getting a lot of those gram, sub-gram pieces, a lot of them. That's fun. That's fine. I'm a little more pushy. I'd rather run a hunt all day and then whop a half ouncer. You know what I'm saying? And I had some spots I started working, and I went out on a road bed, turned the corner, bam, I got a 1/4 ounce nugget. Bam, got an 1/8 ounce. I said, all right, I know where I want to put these guys. So I got them. I literally chewed on them, had to. One was complaining, he ain't finding enough, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, shut up and listen. So Mike went out, and I put him on a stretch of road. He found a 1/2 and a 3/4 ounce nugget in about a half an hour.
Nice.
Tim went out, got a 1/2 ouncer. Finally, Ron went out, got a 1/4 ouncer. But you working this, you're swinging a pick. You're not sitting there digging with a little spade. You're swinging a pick to get down to this. It's all compressed.
Sure.
Tim the next day found a 1.5, and then he found a 2.75.
Nice. Dang.
And everybody was getting nice pieces.
Them are all nice pieces.
I reckon so.
Right. Heck yeah. Man.
So that was last year I got, and everybody, oh, look at, they think this gold comes up. No, it's grimy, it's dirty, it's got crap on it. And you see a little yellow on the background, by the size and the weight. I think I got one. You sit there, and Mike, when he found that big one, he comes over, tosses it in my lap. I'm sitting on the ATV, and he goes, what do you think? And I'm looking at it, and I'm spitting on it, rubbing it on my jeans. I said, you don't know what you got, son. You do not know what you got. So we went down. We had to clean the dirt off and get a weight on it. And that was troy ounces and 7.9, something like that.
God.
Over a 1/2 a standard pound.
Man. Amazing. That's
big pieces.
That is. That's the way it should be. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
These guys, the guys with me know how to run their machines, most of them. I take new guys in fold, and they start getting stuff. But I make sure that if you're not getting it with a detector, run a high banker. You're going to get gold. We'll get the slick plate going. You can go pan. You're going to go home with some gold.
Right.
But you got to work for it. And some of the guys on the high bankers got 10 grams.
Sure.
It's hard for me to fathom anymore that 10 grams is $800.
Right. Now it's odd. Now, especially when you think about
it used to be, I'd come back with an ounce of gold, and they said, oh, that's about $400. Yeah, 5 maybe. And I put it away, and I just kept doing that. And we did other stuff. And then I had a couple years where I come home with about 10 ounces and just put it away and build it up over a lot of years, and then, move forward and that kind of stuff. And I look back at it now, respectively speaking, that $500 an ounce gold is worth as much as that $2,700 an ounce in purchasing power.
Sure. Well, yeah, agree. Yep, you're right.
Inflation.
Yes. Oh God, yeah, but still, it's cool. It's crazy seeing gold at 2,700. But
I know it. It's great. Well, I used to trade some raw nuggets to a dealer. He wanted some raw nuggets and cards, and he wanted nothing less than 1/8 an ounce it up. So I trade gold for gold. And I have some 10th ounce rounds that I traded back in the 80s to him.
Sure.
And the price tags on them is $60. So tell me.
Yeah.
So, he's still around, and he's always said, why don't you bring some of them big nuggets in and let me sell them? And I'm like, you don't sell them as well as they sell in Alaska. You got to go to that area to get your top dollar out of them.
Okay. That makes sense.
If you ever get to Alaska, you will be in Anchorage. If you're flying in wanting to go to Nome or somewhere else, that's the hub, Fairbanks and Anchorage. You get in Anchorage, spend a night, go down to the Alaska Mint, downtown Anchorage.
Okay.
I highly recommend that, guys, because you'll go in there and your heart will flutter if you're a gold hunter.
I can only imagine.
You cannot, because he works with local miners. They bring their big stuff in. He cards them, weight, value, who found it, where found it. Really nice displays. He's bought from me before, and does a great setup in there. But there are pieces in there, 13, 18 ounce nuggets. People don't realize how much gold's still flowing out of Alaska.
Right. Or how much gold's out there in general. People don't realize.
Still there. And we, every time Joey had people in Oroville this year, after all the rain and the flooding and walking on the street, picking nuggets off the street.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Mother Nature moves that stuff.
Sure.
The wind, the sun, and water, and you just got to understand where it comes from and how to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he's had a couple minor gold rushes the past 3 years. When the dam almost broke, it was washing stuff down. They had to stop people from going up in there and panning because they were afraid the Oroville Dam was going to fail.
Right. Sure. That's just nuts, though. It is crazy. That gold is.
Have you ever taken and been in a room and guys are talking gold prospecting and somebody breaks out a couple big nuggets? And you see the look in people's eyes. You see this change come over them. It's just like, and it's funny how gold does that.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like when you found your first piece of gold. The look you had in your eye.
I've still got my first nugget. It sits in a jar in the safe. It's just a little bitty 2-gram nugget. It actually fits the bill of a nugget of not going through 16-inch minus.
Right. Gotcha.
I've still got it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How many of us can say they still got their first gold?
I got the first nugget I ever found, and that was in the Black Hills. And the rest of them, I went up. I was dredging on Bertha Creek down in the Kenai. I was dredging up at above Fairbanks on a public creek. I got nuggets. There's public spots up there you can go. And then got to know people up the Steese, and I was doing stuff with them on claims up there. And I feel blessed because I've been able in the right places at the right time to learn stuff.
Sure. Now it sounds like you like dredging, huh?
Yeah, I did. I love dredging. And it was, you got down there and you just worked it. Once you got the hole opened up and you're getting down, laying down, you're working, getting deeper, you get to the contact points and you start looking for, what you should be and taking your time and working it. And God helps you, it doesn't plug up the nozzle. And just work along and watch gold go up. I've had that happen, and that is so cool. That is just absolutely so cool.
It's so quiet down there, and
it is. It is
gold.
And
cool. Yeah.
I bought a dry suit. Like I said, I'm a skinny guy, and that cold water went. I mean, literally. So I bought a dry suit, put it on. The only thing that was cold then was hands and nose, face.
Right.
And but my dredge tender, Arlen McCool, this was up on Arctic Creek. I'm sitting there and we're running a 4-inch, and he was standing up on the pontoons, making things were going good. I heard kaboom. I'm like, what the hell is that? Arlen fell off the back of the dredge into that Arctic Creek water. I had to stop, get out, get his ass on a bike, get him down to the hooch. We had a fire going. It was cold. I mean, it was 50 out. Get him warmed up. He said, damn, that's cold. I said, oh,
good God, the stuff that happens, right? It's
a
lot of great memories is what it is.
And I keep going. There's more memories to be made.
That's what I mean. It sounds like you just stay busy out there with this. I mean, that's what's great between the
stay busy with the metal. I was out metal detecting today on Old Farm Field. They got tokens that they used to give out to the onion pickers, good for 1 bushel.
Right.
And this back in the teens and 20s, I got 3-4 of them today and a couple points in a couple hours. But the ground, we're so dry.
Okay.
Right now, we're in a drought.
Right.
And I'm standing up on a shovel, bouncing like a pogo stick, trying to get it to break in. Once you got off that 2-inch surface, it'd roll out.
Right.
And that kind of stuff. So yeah, I still do a lot of detecting and get out with the guys, and I'm still active with my fire department here in Cordova, and
that's cool. So do you got any tips or things that you would give to somebody that's just now starting out metal detecting, wants to get a detector and start detecting? Is there anything you would suggest?
Well, first off, and people aren't going to like this, don't believe everything you see on YouTube, okay?
Right.
Number one, don't believe everything is going to work the same way where John Doe's detecting as where you're at 500 miles away. Throw that away. Go to a local dealer. Go find if there's a club in the area.
Okay.
Go out with them.
Yep.
If you got that capability, go out with them. They'll teach you. They'll talk to you about detectors. Now, if I put up on there, my name is John Doe, what detector should I buy? How many detectors do you think I'll probably see pop up?
About however many there are made.
Think about it. So if you got a local club, you got somebody already detecting, talk to them.
Sure.
You want to do it, get out and talk to people. Now, each company has websites and YouTube of their own. Garrett has it, Minelab, Notka, go directly to those sites. You can type in, where's your local dealer? It'll come up. But if you want to watch information that's true and straightforward, go to the dealer pages and go there. Find a local club. If you got a friend doing it, see what you can learn from him, her, and then make an informed decision. And one of the biggest things is, what's your budget? If you got $500, you can be outfitted with a nice starter unit. If you got $1,000, you get better. If you got 1,500, now we're getting into getting the best pinpointers, this kind of stuff. Spend some money ahead of time. Don't repeat yourself 3 times moving up.
Right.
Gold prospecting equipment. There's some neat stuff on the market. There's been some changes in that. But the best thing is a pan and a sluice, a concentrator, and a bucket, and go out and start learning. Find out about the physics of gold.
Yeah, here in Utah, it's more profitable for me to go metal detecting than it is to actually go gold prospecting. A lot of people don't believe me, but it is.
Yeah. That's a fact. I would rather detect for nuggets. Look, I can go all week long. I get 1 1/4 ounce nugget. I've got guys that are panning that don't get 2 grams, and I go back out the next day and I got a 3.5 ouncer in my hand.
Yeah, you've done it a day what they've taken a week.
Yeah, but I've done a lot of it. I still love to dredge, and I still love to sit and pan. It's quiet, nobody's bothering you. You got some stuff. Place to do it. That's great. That's a great hobby. And all the great mining efforts go on, still end up doing one thing, don't they? They still pan the tailings at the end.
Finishes with the pan.
Right.
Never
So
change.
learn the physics of gold and learn how to pan, and that's the first step to success.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. That's the key. Got to
That's-
know.
Like you said, Tim, it starts with a pan, ends with a pan.
Always, don't it?
Yep.
Always, always.
That's my famous thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so a lot of these clubs, the metal detecting clubs, do they usually have like property that they get to hunt, or they find property?
Yeah, we have, they'll get farm fields, things like that. We'll get out on a farm field. We may pay the farmer a little money for a trespass fee, or whatever. That happens once in a while, and you go out and we get permissions, and we have club hunts. We have parks in our area. We really police people detecting. We don't want holes. We don't want trash left behind, that kind of stuff. And we're still allowed in our area parks, even some state parks here. They allow us. Illinois and Iowa both. They'll allow us in there, and we take care of what we got, because we see the downside of it in a lot of the urban areas. They're leaving holes, open, trash behind, and people need to, not do that.
Right, exactly. Yep.
I mean, the dirt's sitting right beside the hole. How hard is it to kick it back in the hole?
Exactly.
You're right.
Now, unless you're on the beach.
Well,
yeah.
Still,
So
I agree. It's kick that dirt back in the hole.
I'm out in the middle of a farm field that's going to be plowed in 3 months, maybe 4, and I'm digging a hole and I'm filling the hole in.
Still filling it back in. Right. It's
Filling
just
it back in. It's a habit.
it's good
And
practice. Right.
and that's just the way it is. And then if I'm in a pasture and there's been cattle in there, you better fill that hole in, or you're going to end up buying a 600-pound steer with a broken leg.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah.
See, that's why it just makes sense. Fill them all in, then you get yourself used to doing it.
Now, do you guys ever travel about? Do you get out and go to some of the?
That'd be nice, but no, don't ever get to go that much. I mean, occasionally, but not as much as we'd like to.
your car.
You're working way too much. It's that 4-letter word, isn't it?
It is. Work keeps you from doing a lot of things, is what it is. It keeps you grounded. It's like, God.
Yeah.
That's the bad.
We got things coming up, an election's coming up. All I'm going to tout on that is get out and vote.
Right, exactly.
Your backside and vote. I don't care how you vote. Get out and vote. I do care how you vote, but I'm not going to bring that.
But we ain't going to say how. But you're right.
MAGA is it for me.
Right. I got you, but that's always the downside. Work keeps us from.
But if you ever get out this way, give me a holler.
Yeah.
I would look up with you guys. I can take you out detecting. If you ever feel froggy and want to go up to Nome, contact me. I'll put another trip together. I've got 2 weeks this year. I've spent as much as 7 weeks up there at a time. I'm retired out of the full-time job.
Nice. Okay.
Well, my part-time, I'm a fire chief for this district. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, yeah, we'll definitely keep that in mind. Hopefully we'll get our chances.
I will try to get a couple people on a couple shows here this winter, and I'll be in contact with you if I can swing it.
Yeah, definitely, Chuck. We appreciate it, buddy. We really do. Yeah, that would be an honor to have some of them on. We think.
What is now? I get a question you back. What's your detector of choice?
Mine right now is a Tesoro Lobo. That's what I have.
There's nothing wrong with the old Tosoros.
What I have right now.
I got the original Gold Bug.
You got the Gold Bug? They're a
original.
gold finder. They're a good little gold finder.
I use a CTX 3030.
Excellent.
I started with the 705 to the Knox and then upgraded to the CTX, all with my finds.
Oh, see.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
Well, I'm in Utah again, so I don't have a gold machine. I just have an AT Pro.
Nothing wrong with that either. You're out there doing it, get out and do it.
Now, I started out with a Fisher Gold Bug 2, and then a couple of years ago got gifted a Gold Monster 1000.
Oh, nice. There you go. There you go. I'm going to make a recommendation to you. When you guys get into the position you want, keep an eye on the Mind Lab series in the Equinox and the Gold Monsters, and then knock us up and coming in their gold field. They're up against the wall, though. I mean, the number one gold detector, hands down, is Mind Lab.
Right.
I mean, we know it. I'm not advertising them. I'm saying what is truth. And, you know, and the SDC, the 6,000, the 7,000. Now we're getting up in some pretty serious money.
Sure.
But if you're in serious gold hunting areas and there are plenty of tailings, you can get up there and get in them. I've had guys literally pay for a 6,000 in one outing.
Oh, I believe it. Sure. Yep.
So,
yep. Say that would be cool. But in a place like where I'm at and stuff, it's like, nope.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm in Ohio. It's like my best chance is finding relics, preferably, you know, that is to the gold. But so
well, don't sell Ohio short. I have some good friends out there, Bill Hayes and several of the guys on there. They do a little research. They get out in some of them farm fields out there in Ohio on the side of it. And Eastern Ohio has some great history. You get out in Southern Ohio, oh man.
Yeah, see, I like Southern Ohio too. Yeah,
rolling hills and find those cellar holes.
Oh, yeah. See, I never thought about the cellar holes. That you know, but I know, like you said, there's a lot of old properties out that way.
Oh boy,
there is for sure. I used to hunt out there, and there was. Yeah, interesting. Chuck.
Yeah, out here with the gold bug, I'm the best bullet finder you ever seen.
If you're finding lead, you're going to find gold. I'll leave it at that.
Hey.
I mean, if you can find that lead, that gold's going to come up sometime.
Yeah. What makes me really upset is when you find, I mean, just the tiniest piece of aluminum foil from like an old campfire. Oh, it just makes me so mad. You're sitting there swearing it's gold, and then all of a sudden you find it's a little bitty crap.
I sell Deus, I sell Naka, I sell Garrett and Mind Lab. And the Deus machine, it's light, it's powerful, but that's what it's designed for, is to get these little tiny thin slivers of coins in Europe. But what does it get here? They've gotten better. I'm sure there's people out there going, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I do. I think I was on par to make the largest tinfoil ball in the world running and it just loves tinfoil. But that's that thin, silvery, you know, and but the guys that love Deus, they do very well with them. Wow. But not too well in the gold fields.
Right.
Some guys do, but not all that great where we're at. We had guys bring Deus up and ended up loaning them Equinoxes so they get some gold.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
You know, I heard you mention Garrett. When's the last time Garrett come out with anything new?
Like 4 months ago.
Did they really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
The Vortex.
Yeah.
But
around the same time, Mind Lab came out with the, I think it was the Xterra Pro or something like that.
Yep, the Xterra Pro. And it's still not out in the dealer's hands yet from Garrett. They're working some bugs out. And so I'd rather have it that way. So when I get a couple in, I'm telling the guys, as far as I know it's okay, I can say this is okay. They worked and reworked and they got this fixed.
Right.
You know, I'd rather do that.
Okay. That'd be cool.
That machine's going to be an upgradable. Actually, they're talking an upload of a new operating system could be bought.
Okay.
Fixes could be uploaded, but they're talking that you'll be able to purchase upgrades for this machine. So it's going to be the way they tend to tout it, a lifetime detector. As we come up with better ideas, we'll sell it to you. You can upload it.
Yeah, you can buy like the way I understand it, and correct me if you think differently, but the way they say is you can buy the entry model instead of buying the top tier that's right now, and you can eventually upgrade it to that without having to buy the new detector.
Right.
Now that
Well, I've been patiently awaiting to get my hands on one to give it a thorough check out, but we are getting later in our season now. And once November comes, I'm switching from one type of hunting to another.
sure. Yep.
Venison on the table, I hope.
Yep. The season's changed.
Yeah, I've already been tracking my cameras and been clearing some stuff. The food plots are in. Of course, it's dry. Oh my gosh, it's dry. Right. So the food plots are looking pretty brown.
Where do you live? What state?
Illinois.
Illinois. Okay, well, you got some big bucks out there.
Yeah, there's some big bucks.
Yeah, I shot a nice one a couple years ago. I've shot some nice bucks. My wife prefers I get a big doe because the meat is actually better.
Yeah.
But I shot a buck 3 years ago. Final measurement was 191 7/8.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, I think Illinois has probably got the biggest bucks in the country.
When you get Illinois, Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northeast Missouri, and northeast Kansas, there's some big ones out there.
Too. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Nice. Very nice. Very cool. Chuck. And Chuck, it's been a pleasure having you on here tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. If you want to get together and chat, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely, brother. We appreciate you coming.
And if I get the camera working, I can do some show and tell for you.
All right. Well, we'll definitely have you on again.
I think I got a friend that might get on with me one night. I hope in the future.
Hey, let us know. We'll make it
happen. Like to see some of those funds. Definitely.
I sent him the link to get on tonight.
Okay.
To listen. And he said, I can't get on live tonight. You got to wait a month or two. All right, fine. No problem. I told him, no, I'm on. I'm going to be talking to you. And he goes, oh, you're on. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not on TV, Gary. Well, but and I talked about being on the other one. And if you guys want to listen in Wednesdays and Sundays, and Josh Kimmel with Detecting on Sight and Sound. And we have a lot of great things that go on there and giveaways and things like that. And have a lot of fun. A good group of people, and we got great followers from all over the country.
Yeah, Josh is cool. We've had Josh on the show in the past. He's a cool guy. We like him. Yeah, yeah. And I think Jaren's posted the link to you guys' show and during our show tonight to get people that way.
You guys ever make up your mind to come east or come west? In whichever case you are, some are in Wyoming, some are in Ohio, wherever. We'll have hunts out here, and it'd be fun. And there's one coming up in the fall up in Wisconsin that Chicago Dig Fest is putting on. That is on a site of 1,200 acres of an old logging camp, Boy Scout camp, that kind of stuff. Hadn't been searched. That'd be worth a drive for.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be a cool one. Yeah.
Now, where are you based out of, Chuck?
Cordova, Illinois, northwest corner, right on the Mississippi River. My early treasure hunting has all been following the river trails and the banditti of the prairie and things like that. This area was pretty well notorious, and it's always been fun.
Right. Very cool. Man, awesome. Yeah, definitely. If you want to hook up with one of your buddies and come on again, just let us know. Reach out to Rob or something, and we'll make it happen.
Sure, Tim.
Yeah, that'd be.
You guys face to face, maybe go detect.
Yeah, thank you, brother. We appreciate it.
Coming on.
All right, Chuck, you have a great evening, buddy. Stay safe.
Right. You too, sir.
All right, we'll see you. Yeah, take care.
Right.
Bye, bud.
Bye.
Awesome. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely a pleasure having Chuck on here tonight. So be sure and check him out. They said Wednesday nights over there on Beyond Sight and Sound. And see what else you can pick up from him. Let's see. Let me get Chuck. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I hope you guys learned a little something. I know I did. I always learn something when we have guests. That's what's cool.
I think what was because we talked about the shark and the bear. I'm like, I'd rather take on the shark because
I think I'd rather deal with shark. Yeah, I don't think I want to deal with no bears.
I think I could knife a shark and he'd get the hint. You can't do that with a bear.
Bear, you're just gonna
Yeah,
piss him off and pick him
there's
up.
zero chance you're gonna hold the bear's nose and just hold it back.
Yeah.
The shark you can do that with.
Yeah, you could give him the old stiff arm.
Bear will whack in half.
Maybe.
Whack it with your coil. Get out of
Like
here.
grizzly, no. Nope. No. Very cool. Yes. Awesome. Thank you again, Chuck, for coming and hanging out with us. That's cool.
Yeah, buddy.
I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's show. What's next week? End of the month show, ain't it, Jaron? Where we do the Ember Pay It Forward.
Yeah, it'll be the 27th. So yeah, pay it forward and the open mic.
Oh, I got to come up with a cool word.
You got a week to figure it out.
Yeah, I do. It'll be a good one. Trust me. Meow.
Swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler. Okay. Well,
You got to give something that Ray can spell. Stop.
Well, they got to spell it correctly. I think we're just going to go with meow.
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 Meow, y'all better listen.
All right. Well, we'll let everybody go. Thanks again for coming and hanging out with us. Thanks again, Chuck, for coming in and hanging out with us also. Until next Sunday, we're out of here. Have a great week, everybody.
Get
Get
her done.
Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 7:30 for another great show. For updates and more info, please go to www.prospectorsradio.com.